right, everybody, it's time for another episode of DWMOD, brought to you by Kuttin Loose.
We cutting loose.
That's right, it's Disagree With Me or Don't. I'm your boy, Mikey Wilson. You guys know how this works. It's the Sweet 16. Major League Baseball opening day is coming. And tomorrow, I believe it's tomorrow, the NBA's got 10 games left, guys. The Red Wings are not going to make the playoffs. We understand that. We got NFL free agency. We got it all going on right here. And Louis, let's get to it, man, and let's start the show.
Touchdown!
Ready? College football is now B1G versus SEC.
Down! Put!
If you ain't listening to All Right Bet with me and Andy St. Clair, you're throwing away money.
Ready?
Oh, Lions fans drinking that Kool-Aid. Super Bowl. Hey, disagree with me or don't. That's how it works. All right, everybody. Hey, we are ready to go. Louis, just bring Andy in. Let's hit the ground running today, man. Yeah, now.
No.
I thought he was going to have a perfect run there. He said, "Oh, mishap on the button." He was ready. But
He was ready.
He was ready.
Okay.
He was ready. What's going on, brother? How you been, man?
You know, I'm good. I'm as you know, there's some construction at our house, so I'm in the car. You know, living the dream. Coming right from the car. So it's good times.
We're referring to that as mobile office nowadays.
That's right. Oh, I'm in the mobile office. Right.
In the mobile office, my friend. That's how that goes. Listen, let's just jump on some easy things here to start everybody off. We can knock them right out because we pretty much covered most of the NFL free agency stuff. Just a couple of signings for you guys this week. I want to get your take on this, Andy. Russell Wilson signs with the Giants, I think, for like $21 million. And they also bring in Jameis Winston. He also signs with the Giants. I mean, what do you think of both of these guys doing that?
Giants country, let's roll. I don't know. I think still draft Shador if he's there for the Giants at 3. Why not?
That's exactly it. I mean, you have to think that they're exactly doing that. Like, they're going to draft a quarterback. So my thing, why spend $21 million on Russell Wilson and bring in Jameis Winston? Just save the money, bring in J-Mo, draft Shador, get another good draft pick, and move on.
I mean, I feel like they should have just stuck with J-Mo and then, yes, drafted Shador. But there's no guarantee that Shador is there. Giants are at 3. I do think the quarterbacks are going 1-2, though. I do think so. I think Cleveland, it's the only way out for Cleveland. That's what they have to do. Even if they don't like Shador, they have to take him. Because, they don't have Deshaun. So that's what I would do. But
rumblings, they're going to move down, but we'll see.
For what? For like Mason Graham?
I don't know. Like maybe not take a quarterback this year. I don't know.
Go for Arch Manning next year?
Yeah. I mean, you locked up Garrett. The rest of the team is relatively still on the young side. You could weather another season and bring in Arch the next year. If they're not in love with Shador or Ward, move back. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's Cleveland, though. Will you be shocked?
No. I mean, the Giants with Russell, they got like that division's going to be hard anyway. It's like they're, I don't know. It's a Band-Aid. Yeah, Russell's on his 3rd team in 3 years now?
Yeah, and he played fine. Like if he were to sign with somebody like Minnesota, Andy, I'd be like, okay. They're built. They're loaded at wide receiver. Good football team. 15 wins last year. You can plug in Russell Wilson and still be really competitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a team where he's going to have to come in and like win you some games, no.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad for Giants. Another top 5 pick coming next year.
Yeah, they do. They do. They absolutely do. So I don't know why they would spend $21 million on Russell Wilson. Just terrible. Stephon Diggs, the ultimate diva problem. He signs with the Patriots, and you're on your last legs when you take the Patriots deal at wide receiver. We've read the stories. We've read all the stories, Andy, of how many wide receivers turned down boatloads of money in the last 2 seasons because they're like, I'm not going to play in New England.
Yeah, but now New England's got a quarterback again, right? Drake May's pretty good. So this one I actually don't mind. Even if they can have him for a year, they'll trade him so easily next year.
I mean, I'll agree with you on New England's side of things. Like, they absolutely had to do this. No one else wanted to go there. But for Diggs, I'm like, it's the end of the road, bud.
Yeah, probably the end of the road for Diggs. This is probably It's getting toward the end of his contract. The
Yeah.
Pats could do really is now at 4. This is too high, but they could take that Arizona,
Yeah.
and then you're a little set up. It's a little high for that guy though, but they could.
It is, but they loaded up on defense, which was already a good side of the football for them last
Right.
year, and they loaded up some guys on defense. They feel strong over there. Why not? Why not grab the wide receiver?
Well, also it was a good side of the football for them 2 years ago in the Belichick years. So last year with Mayo, it was fine.
Weren't a lot of their games kind of close down the stretch? Like they were only giving up 17, 20, but they just couldn't score. And then May started playing a little better down the stretch. Yeah, I mean, you're probably right, but they patched some holes over there.
Yeah. With Vrabel, it should be better though, for sure.
I would think.
Yeah,
I would think. But with Vrabel in charge, you're right. They're not going wide receiver. They're going O-line or D-line.
Right.
I'd bet my house on it. My house on it. Yeah, 100% on that. Well, listen, I'm going to give you one more NFL thing that I'm just like, I've been saying it. You've been hearing me say it. Aaron Rodgers was in the building in Pittsburgh for 6 hours the other day. I'm telling you right now, I can't find, like, where I place my bets, I don't get the bet on the Rodgers future where he's going to land. If I could bet $1 million against Pittsburgh, I would still make that bet, even though Russ signed with New York. I'm telling you, everything we're hearing is that Minnesota is out. Everything we're seeing is the opposite, man. Like, I don't know if this guy was going to sign with Pittsburgh. He is a diva. He's a diva. But I think he's holding out because he wants to play in Minnesota. And why wouldn't he? Look at that offense.
Yeah, a little better offense, right? I think he's going to sign with Pittsburgh though, with DK and Pickens and get a bunch of fights there. So with those guys, but I mean, if I'm Minnesota though, I'm just kind of rolling the dice with McCarthy. I'm like, why not? This is how you win in the NFL. Rookie quarterback, your team's already set up. Like, why not?
And I hear you, man. Put 15 wins last year. I mean, maybe one season. Calm down.
Kong went down.
He went down hard, man.
Oh,
he's still got Superman in his clutches, though. Superman couldn't escape.
You don't drop that. You don't drop that.
No. Anyway, I'll just say, man, bring Rodgers in 1 year up there. You win another bunch of games. I think there's still some talks happening there. Is the only reason he hasn't inked in Pittsburgh. He's got nowhere else to go. What's he waiting on?
Right. I don't think there's any spots. I think it's retirement, Steelers, Vikings. That's it.
I mean, that's it. He ain't going to Tennessee. So I don't know, man. If I could bet right now, I'd bet it'd be like plus 500 or something. I bet like the Pittsburgh bet's minus 115.
Right.
I would take the Minnesota bet right now.
Sure.
I don't know. Why not?
Yeah.
That's just where I'm at with it.
Of course.
That's where I'm at with it. Well, listen, let's jump into some quick hits. We know quick hits is brought to you by What Just Happened. Gordon Butterfield is in the house. He is on the call, and let's see what he's got to say today, Andy.
What just happened? What Just Happened is brought to you by the RustBeltClub.com. They make the most comfortable clothes you ever wore, and they're guaranteed to be the most conversational. Put on your Rust Belt gear, and people are guaranteed to get inquisitive. Is that Tom Brady's joint? Where can I grab them cakes? Who won that game? Oh, good morning, counselor. Is that a tooth beer or two? I know that guy. Ho, that's a haunted water park. Abracadabra. And that's the RustBeltClub.com. It's for folks with an inquired taste. The South got pummeled with snow, and we've got some first-time shovelers throwing the snow right where it'll need to be shoveled again. Whiteout! Oh, my, the roof cut loose, and she got totally wiped out. Well, let's take another look, as every time she bangs that metal shovel on the concrete, she's loosening up that roof snow, and bang, there it is, here it comes. She freezes like a deer in the headlights as she's pummeled by the Arctic cap. Oh, my, buried alive. But this Matterhorn massacre is going to bring on the guilt as she's pummeled and lays down her head. Here comes a couple of fellas that probably should have been doing the shoveling in the first place. But here's one thing I'll tell you for sure. That's all gonna need to be shoveled again. Oh, what just happened?
Complete disaster, man.
What? I mean, Gordon is right, though. She was just shoveling the snow back to where she was going to reshovel.
no idea what she had going on. 1 inch at a time. Wound up divorced at the end of this thing too. I guarantee you that. Why
Or
was she out there?
brain damaged, maybe.
She probably did hit her face worse than the chick last week with the bricks, man. I tell you.
Oh man, yeah. I was glad not to see that again. That one hurts me.
Yeah, that one does hurt. I don't know if that girl's okay, man. Okay, let's get into a little bit of NIL talk here in quick hits, and we're going to start with the Iowa men's basketball team. Yeah, Iowa men's basketball team. They hired a new coach, Ben McCullum. He comes from Drake, who just had a really great season, and he brings their standout star. Bennett Sturts is coming with him. I mean, this is the new age of NIL, right, Andy? Am I wrong when I say 5 years ago, this kid was projected to be a number one, like not number one, but a first round draft pick in the NBA this year, first round. And he is now coming back to school to transfer to go play at a different school. This is the new world of NIL. He's going to make more money at Iowa this year than he was going to make in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, is he? I thought maybe he was going to test the waters first. He's probably going to go to Iowa, but maybe he's going to test to see maybe if he's in the top 15 or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, NIL's changed the Wild West, really. Guys are, that's why if you look at the tournament, I think Jay Williams was dropping this week, and it's kind of the death of the mid majors, really, because all these guys, you spend 1 year at, insert mid-major here and you're kind of good, then Kentucky. I mean, look at Kentucky. They had nobody stayed last year and they got all new dudes.
Yeah.
And now that's just the way it looks like it's going to go. It's a good hire for Iowa. I like that coach. He's a good coach.
Yeah, it's a perfect storm for the destruction of the mid majors, flat out, because of what you just pointed out. They are now in the boat of every other sport where, like, you get a good guy, you develop him, you incubate him, we'll take him, thank you. And these guys are going to bounce to bigger schools. And that really kind of wasn't a thing even before NIL, because there was the one and done in the NBA, right? There was no NIL money, so like you Kentucky would be 5 freshmen and they're all heading to the NBA.
Right.
One and done is out. These guys want to hang around to get paid, right?
Right, or you at least have to wait a year, right? You could transfer, but then you have to sit out a year. Now you don't even have to sit out a year. So, the mid-majors kind of become the minor leagues a little bit for the power conferences.
100%. College basketball is starting to mirror the NBA exactly. We pointed this out in an in-depth episode we had before, and how the NBA is so screwed up. All these like small city teams, these not, that aren't in these big markets. The big markets are more than happy to give them away their draft picks. Like, they trade them away like crazy. They don't want their first round draft picks, because give them to the small cities, let them develop them, and then we'll take the guys later when they're ready to play, and we'll give them their max deals. And it's like all these smaller market teams are just minor league development systems for the bigger teams.
Yeah, and in college too, like you look at the SEC this year. Only 2 teams were left out of the tournament, right? South Carolina, and South Carolina, they beat somebody earlier in like November. It wasn't like they were horrible. They just weren't very good. They weren't horrible though. So yeah, I think it's going to continue. I think you're going to see this in the tournament for a few years, and it may settle itself out. But in the next few years of the tournament, that like even this year's tournament, the Cinderella's Arkansas, it's 10, and Arkansas, its best player was out for like 3 months. So
yeah. And they're a legitimately good team, right?
Yeah.
For as much a problem as everyone has with the NIL ruining college football, just because it's turned into like these money grabs, and it's the coaching, and it's tired to keep guys and all that, for the most part, that's a money problem. Like, the football has always been the best players are going to the best schools. If you know what I mean, it's destroying college basketball.
Right. You rarely get in college football like a really awesome, like Travis Hunter was when he went to Deion's first job. That was so rare.
Extremely rare.
Like Roethlisberger at Miami of Ohio. There's just not a lot of dudes who are dominant for these really small schools that stay there.
Yeah, I'm going to argue this. If they don't make some major changes to this thing, and they know it, this is going to be like, college football is going to continue to make money. The NIL is going to keep going the way they do, but the big dogs are big dogs. The money's just going to keep accumulating. This thing is going to hurt the money in college basketball, I'll tell you right now. In like 5 years, when this thing has really done its damage, and the NCAA tournament There's no mid majors. You're not having any of these big fun upsets. You're not like that's a major part of college basketball is the 5th-year seniors on a team like Drake that'll come in and make a run. And like that's very intricate to college basketball survival, man, monetarily, and that's gone.
Yeah, it makes March Madness fun, and this March Madness will be fun, right? There should be some good games here this weekend, but you know what we all like is the first round crazy upsets.
I mean, you love to see like when Butler went to the finals 2 years in a row. Like that's amazing for college basketball. That's gone.
Yeah,
that's gone.
It's gonna be hard.
Dead.
Sure.
All those schools in the Big East that are like punch you in the face type teams, the St. John's is a little story this year, but like those schools are all mid majors. Let's just be honest now. Creighton's and they're done. They're toast. Those guys are gone. They're going to play in the SEC.
Well, they just got it. The Big East has to everybody's got to recruit, right? You got to get some of those. You just got to recruit a little better. Now we're gonna have both Patinos in the Big East, which is good.
That'll be fun.
That'll be fun. You've got you'll. But even Xavier coach, he left for Texas. Sean Miller, he left and went to Texas. So it's like, yeah, you might be right. The Big East might be in trouble.
They're in trouble because of this. And then because they're like the biggest of the conferences that's kind of full of mid majors, right? All these other conferences have one or two. You got your Drakes or something, but the Big East is loaded with teams that are like, we don't want to play those guys.
Right.
Those are all going to be gone. They're in big trouble, man. They're in big trouble. Yeah. All right. Speaking of NIL, we know that this is affecting schools. I'm sure you heard this story. St. Francis, Pennsylvania, has announced that they are just going from Division I to Division III in all their sports next year. Well, they're going to try to do it by next year. I don't know if they'll be able to get that done, but they're moving to Division III as fast as they can. Now, this is a team that I believe made the playoffs in FCS Division I football. Their team just played in the NCAA tournament for basketball.
Right, first four.
Yeah, they were in the first four, and they lost on a buzzer beater, Alabama State.
Right.
They're moving to Division III, and they said it specifically because NIL. They're like, we just can't get involved in this anymore. Like, this is eating us alive. We're done. There's nothing we can do. We're out.
Yeah, it's probably a good move for that school for sure because then they can go be a bigger dog in D3. And it makes sense, but St. Francis though, I don't. It's in what, Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
St. Francis, PA. Yeah, I mean, they had to make a business decision there.
I kind of don't understand the business decision from a football standpoint for them because they were at a point as an FCS school where they were pretty formidable. Decent little opponent that the big schools were bringing in early in the season, and now they ain't got that money coming in no more. That's big money when Alabama says come play us.
Yeah, for sure.
Now that money is gone, and let me tell you why I bring it up because it directly affects us this year, buddy. This was game one on the schedule this year for the ULM Warhawks. It was St. Francis.
Oh my gosh!
What are we gonna do now?
Are they gonna play them?
I don't know if they're going to be out. They're trying to get to Division III like ASAP. I think that the article I read is like they want to be out next year. So
ULM's going to punish them.
I don't know if we're even going to get to play them. We may have an extra game on the schedule. We don't need that. We need that victory to get to 6, man. We don't need to try to fill a game right now with 3 months before the season.
Right.
Like this is a nightmare. This is a nightmare for the Warhawks, man.
Right.
Okay, UNC Tar Heels had their pro day this week. They had their pro day getting ready before the draft to show guys off. And here we go. New coach Bill Belichick at the pro day at North Carolina. You see him there, Andy?
Yeah.
He's not there. He's not in the picture because he didn't go.
He didn't go, right? I was going to say, I don't think he showed.
He didn't even show. I don't know. He's Bill Belichick and he can do whatever he wants, man. But that's stupid, right? He missed a major opportunity, in my opinion, to be there and to show all these new young recruits. Look at me. Everyone in this room right now, I know them. I'm glad-handing them. I'm shaking their hand. They all know me. Every one of these scouts here right now has come over to pat me on the back. You want to come play here. He missed that opportunity.
Hey, he's the Godfather, right? He doesn't need to. It's not his guys. He can't go in there and talk about, if anything, yes, it's just glad handing for Belichick, and probably he doesn't need to do that. Would be my guess.
No, he probably doesn't. I found it odd, but then again, I didn't. I didn't, and who really cares at the end of the day? Who cared anyway, right?
I mean, who's North Carolina got? That Hampton, the running back. That's their main guy.
Yeah. And I don't even know. I didn't even look to see if he even competed because he's a pretty highly ranked running back. He probably is just going to do the combine. He wasn't doing pro day.
Right. Yeah,
probably not. Unless they needed to see him catch balls out of the backfield or some shit. But listen, I'm not dialing in that far to UNC's pro day. You know what I mean?
No.
All right, buddy. Let's jump into my favorite segment. Let's hit some knock it offs.
All right, everyone. Time to do me a favor and knock it off.
Oh, we're going right at the enemy. We're going right at the enemy, ESPN.
The worldwide leader? Yeah.
We're going right at him. Listen, I am done. I am done with First Take. Like, I don't watch it anymore anyway, but I like every time one of the highlights pop up on my phone and my algorithm on any app I'm on, I immediately exit it out, cross it out, snooze it. I don't even want you in my algorithm anymore. It's a waste of my time. Right. It's a waste of my time, and it's sad because guys like Stephen A are very smart and are good. Guy like Shannon is he's smarter than people give him credit for. He knows sports way more than people give him credit for, and he's an entertaining dude. But they can't stop being told what to do by these producers over there. They went off yesterday on JJ McCarthy for this news story where JJ McCarthy said the Vikings haven't even told me I'm the number one quarterback yet. And their whole segment was railing on him like, what do you want? You want the red carpet? You want the like blah, 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 like he was being a baby or something. And like I immediately was like, this is garbage media, garbage, because I went back and watched the interview. I don't know if you did. The girl that was interviewing him asked him, like, how are you focused moving into the season as the number one quarterback for the Vikings? And JJ McCarthy simply said, well, the Vikings haven't told me I'm the number one quarterback yet, and I'm glad they didn't, because I want to go into this thing with that competitive edge that I'm going to have to fight for this thing and earn my teammates' respect, and I want to try to take the position. And so, nothing's written in stone. They haven't given me that yet. That's what he said. They turned it into he was being a diva crybaby. I don't need to waste my time on bullshit media like that when there's real stories.
No, that First Take's junk. It's just a show. It's just a 6 a.m., get up, yell at each other to try to get you fired up kind of show. And it doesn't work.
No, it's garbage. And it really does bother me because I think they got guys on that panel that I would really like to just hear cut loose on their real opinions.
Right.
I would listen to Shannon talk and say what he wants to say instead of being told, argue with Steven on this. You know what I mean? Like, I can't watch it anymore. I'm out. It's the worst.
It sucks.
All right, everyone. Time to do me a favor and knock it off.
Back to the transfer portal and NIL right here.
Sure.
They have to fix this thing and they know it, but in NCAA fashion, it probably is about 10 years away.
Yeah.
The transfer portal for college football is like right at the end of the season before the playoffs and the bowl games and stuff. And then again in the spring, like it's the worst possible timing. The college basketball transfer portal is before the NCAA tournament starts. Like it's right
on Monday.
Now, guys are jumping ship.
Yeah, it was on Monday. It opened on Monday.
Yeah. So you got guys who are probably in the Sweet 16 that might leave their team for some money.
Well, you did. You had a guy on Michigan already left. Pippen.
Yeah,
he left. He left. And what about Calipari? Right? Calipari lives in the portal. Team's still alive. He's got to get those guys to come in. He's got to get the Arkansas kids to come into his office and be like, "Are you staying? Or I don't want you to stay. Right? I'm going to let you go." But the season's still going on for him.
Yeah, this is like they understand of all the sports. Like we know. Right. When the playoffs are in college football, but like, are you going to play first week of December? Or last week of December, early January, blah, 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 blah. Like college basketball is kind of the one we all know. It's called March fucking Madness. Why would you have that portal in March?
Right. It's crazy. They should at least wait till like after the championship.
Jesus Christ. NCAA, get your head out of your ass, but I don't think they can because it's been up there for 50 years. And I think it's just like adhered to itself. I can't. I can't.
All right, everyone. Time to do me a favor and knock it off.
Okay, last night was the big TGL Finals, Andy, the big computerized animatronic fake golf competition. Here we go. The TGL Finals were last night. The New York Golf Club against the Atlanta Drive. And I'm not even going to ask you if you watched it or who won, because none of us give a shit.
All right, everyone. Time to do me a favor and knock it off.
I don't even care when I'm talking about it. I don't even care.
I do know who won, but I didn't care.
I don't even care. I would guess Atlanta.
No, I think New York won.
Well, there you go. I'm glad I didn't bet on it, because who cares? And the it probably had nothing to do with any of money or gambling or ratings on how the ball hit the screen and where they projected it landed. None of that came into play. You're all idiots if you're betting on that. Be out on that, man. All right, let's jump into some All Right Bet stuff right here. Let's get into All Right Bet. And of course, we know that All Right Bet is brought to you guys by the official beer choice of the DWMOD podcast. That's Old English 800. Sweet 16 coming up. I got about 4 straight days of this, Andy.
Brass monkey, that monkey, brass monkey, chunky.
100%. 100%.
Yep.
I love some brass for the games this weekend, man. Okay, Louie, don't give us the long one. Just give us the regular one, and let's jump into some All Right Bet. It's time for another episode of All Right Bet. All right, my man.
That's
well
nice.
done.
Nice.
Well done. Nice and
The
short.
gambler. I like the gambler there.
Yeah, he's having a good day. Having a good day, Louie, man. Claps to you. All right, so let's first jump into a little NBA playoff talk. Get into that before we hit the Sweet 16 stuff. Okay, so in the East, look, we got Cleveland and Boston. They've locked up the top 2 spots. Cleveland's probably gonna be number 1. Boston's gonna be number 2. Interesting, in the middle of this thing, we have been talking about where the Pistons are going to land, and they are right there knocking on the door at that 4-5 spot. They're headlocked with Milwaukee for the 5 spot right now, and only a game behind Indiana for the 4 spot. Do you think they're going to get in? Are we looking at this thing or what, man? You think so?
Are they going to get the 5?
I think so.
Yeah, I think they can get the 5. But like, it seems so up and down. Like, it was the last week or 2 weeks ago, they lost a game to the Wizards, which was so brutal.
That was bad. A couple nights ago, they lost a bad one too. I'm trying to remember who.
So I think they can get there. Will they get there? I don't know, but yeah, they can get there.
I think they can get there. They're only a game behind Indiana as well. We've got 10 games to go. I think we can get to this 4-5 spot, and that's right where we want to be. We want to play Milwaukee or Indiana, right? I mean, you don't want to play the Knicks in the first round. Although I'm not worried about. I mean, I think we could play them.
I think they're going to be a dog in any of those teams. But I think those teams don't want to play them. So I think those teams would be happy not to play Detroit.
Yeah, I think they would. I would think they'd be very happy not to play Detroit. Look, Boston and Cleveland aside, I know it would be a real long shot, but I'm telling you, from an All Right Bet standpoint here, I already put a few bucks on Pistons to win the Eastern Conference.
No,
at plus 10,000. Why not?
No. No.
Why not? I got to put $5 on it. I think it pays like $5,000.
No. There's only 2 teams in the East. If you really, really wanted to do it, maybe you could talk me into the Bucks. Maybe. But Lillard's out. Lillard's out with a blood clot. I don't know. It's not gonna be the Pacers. Maybe the Knicks, but I don't know. To me, it's 2 teams. There's just 2 teams.
It's Cleveland and Boston. It's Cleveland and Boston.
If you want to take in the East, what I would do is take the Cavs to win the title. That's like $750.
I did that earlier in the year with you a few months ago. We both did that. Yeah,
that's the one.
Yeah.
Will it happen? Doubtful, but that's the one.
I don't know. They're that team where, like, last year they were the big dog, but they were just too young and not ready, and they got bounced early. And usually in these situations, a team comes back from that, learns from that, takes that number 1 seed again, and I think they'll be ready to make a run this year.
Yeah, the problem, they've lost like 4 or 5 in a row. They something's going on here all of a sudden, so I'm worried.
Yeah, do you think it's a little bit relaxation mode? Like, we got number 1 locked up, rotating some guys.
Maybe, trying some things. Yeah, probably. I mean, their road to the Eastern Conference Finals should be cakewalk, in my opinion. It
should be.
They'll beat the 8, then they'll beat the Pistons or the Pacers or the Bucks or whoever. So that they should get there. It's just now get the rest.
And that's a good little tip for betting basketball right now. Last couple days, I've hit a couple little 3-team parlays because I'm just keeping an eye on the teams that are jockeying for position, aka the Pistons. Last night we're playing the Pelicans. They were laying 8. I was like, give me a chunk on this game. They're going to blow the Pelicans out, and they did. You know what I mean? Just keep an eye on those guys. You know, you got teams like the Hawks, the Magic, Chicago, Miami. These teams are fighting to stay into that bottom range. But in the East, those teams are already in. No one's catching them. So don't be betting on those teams right now. They're jockeying for nothing. You want to be on Milwaukee, Indiana, or Detroit playing one of those scrub teams right now, and you're going to cover.
Right. The Bulls are a team that is trying for some reason and pretty good recently. They've been good recently.
Yeah, they have been pretty good.
So that's a team you want to look at too to get on.
Yeah. In the West, this thing is a wild west. OKC's got the number 1 locked up. We ain't worried about that. Houston and Denver are battling it out for 2 and 3. Those are the 3 best teams over there, no doubt. But in the middle of this thing, we've got gridlock. Right. We've got Memphis at 44 wins. We've got the Lakers at 43 wins, Golden State's at 41, and the Clippers at 40, Minnesota 48. I mean, you're going all the way down into the 8th seed, and we're all like 2 or 3 games apart here. So this is where some money can be made, right?
Yeah. You know, a team I'm fading is the Grizzlies. They haven't beat an above 500 team since like early February.
Sure.
Right. And their injuries, they got Ja, who's got weird hamstring injuries is happening. So that's a team I'm looking to just go against. They give up a lot of points. They score a lot of points, but they give up a lot. So that's a team I'm fading. Another team I'm fading in the tournament itself is Houston. Houston's a good story. They just don't score enough. Every night they're not going to be able to score enough. So when it's like Rockets, Nuggets in round 2, please, I can't wait to bet the Nuggets.
Yeah. They're kind of like Cleveland last year too, right? They're really good this year for the first time. They're going to be like the number 2 seed. They're young, looking to get bounced early.
Yeah, they don't have one guy who can give me if it's tied with like 10 seconds left, who's getting the bucket? Who's scoring for Houston? Like, I mean, they have a lot of dudes, but like Şengün, I guess, or maybe Thompson. I don't know.
Yeah. I took a flyer as soon as the Luka trade went down. I took a flyer on the Lakers to win the West because the odds were like crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now I'm looking at this thing and I'm going, I don't know, LeBron comes back healthy. I might be watching that bet.
Yeah, that's, it's not bad. The problem is that, like they're going to end up at 4 or 5 and they're going to play Oklahoma City. And Oklahoma City, for me at least, they got size and their speed and they throw a lot of dudes at LeBron.
Sure.
And that's going to be a problem, I think. Luka historically loves playing against Oklahoma City. That's the thing you got on your favor. Like, he likes it. That's a good matchup for Luka.
Yeah. He just likes to bomb on them, man. He does. But if the Lakers are going to make a run to win the Western Conference Final, I would argue they want to get Oklahoma City earlier than later. LeBron ain't getting any younger. Luke ain't in the greatest shape. You want to catch them on your first series. You don't want to have a 7-gamer, and then so you don't want to be fucking around like that.
Yeah, for sure. If I'm taking like an absolute long shot, like I'd probably not going to happen. What about the T-Wolves?
I like the T-Wolves. Yeah.
Like, what are they at 7 right now? I think.
Yeah.
That'd be an interesting, because then like T-Wolves Rockets would be just a war, right? Let's just imagine the T-Wolves win that series. So then they would play the Nuggets. Let me just remind you of the Nuggets Wolves history. Last year, who beat the Nuggets? The Wolves. The Wolves did. And then the Wolves, they have a dude, they got Ant, who will get you buckets, will play defense. Like, he's a top 10 dude. Like, that's the kind of team I like in these kind of playoffs. So then let's say they somehow beat the Nuggets. Then they got to go to Oklahoma City probably. And then, hey, they just beat them like 3 weeks ago in a big comeback in Oklahoma City. I don't know if they could do it 4 times, but if I'm taking a flyer.
That's a flyer on a long shot. It's not a bad one. You know what I mean? You don't even know who's going to get in this play-in thing in the West, man, because we got, like I said, 7, 8, 9, 10, Clippers, Minnesota, Sacramento, and Phoenix are all like 40, 41 wins. So like Clippers, Minnesota in, but like the 9, 10 spot, Sacramento and Phoenix, 35 wins. And then behind them, you got Dallas and Portland right at 35 and 34. Like, you don't even know who's getting in. This thing's heating up quicker than RFK spoon, man.
Yeah, that's right. That no doubt. That's a hot spoon. I also the Clippers. He's healthy. Like that's gonna be a West Playoffs is gonna be a bloodbath. It's gonna be
It's
awesome.
gonna be. It's gonna be. It is. It's gonna be a bloodbath. Should be fun. Should be fun. Let's jump on a little Major League Baseball opening day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Opening day tomorrow. Now, I'm not going to get crazy on trying to get futures and picking division winners in baseball, guys, because it's just not that lucrative. It's usually like, look, what do you think the odds are for the Dodgers to win the West?
Minus 220.
Minus 700. That's minus 700, Andy.
No thanks, man.
No,
I mean, just give me the Padres or Diamondbacks at that point, or Giants.
It's just kind of not worth it. So let's start them like the Major League Baseball, the AL East. The Yankees are plus 155. Look, if you're going to be doing 5, 10, 15, $20 bet, this is a waste of your time. If you're going to put $100 down, I'd argue it's still a waste of your time. 162 games and months from now, you might make $55. Like, I don't, not 155, sure. But I'm like, it's just not, and the odds of that happening aren't great. So I'm just going to give you a couple of odds on some long shots to win these divisions that are maybe feasible and make a little bit more money. For me in the East, it's the Orioles. They've got them finishing third place in these odds at plus 245. Give me Baltimore at plus 245. They damn near won it last year.
What's the Red Sox?
Red Sox are also at 245.
Okay, I'll take the Red Sox, but I like that.
Okay. All right. In the Central, here's one I think you're gonna appreciate my take on this. Give me the Royals right now. The Twins are the favorite to win the division at 210. Sorry, not going to happen. These teams are competitive now. The Tigers are the favorite at second place because of how hot we finished last year at plus 240.
Right.
With the Royals, who've added some pitching, they have the MVP. He's going to be the MVP this year. I'm going to bet on that.
I think so too. I would bet that MVP. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm bet that the Royals are basically plus 300. They're plus 290.
Yeah.
Give me the Royals in the Central.
Yeah. By the way, that could have been it. Could have been reversed. It could have been Royals' favorite, Twins at 390. I'm just betting the 390. Just give me that number. It doesn't matter.
290. But yeah, right.
290. Yeah.
We're just betting that. Right. In the West, the favorite is the Astros to win it again. So no, thank you. I really like the Rangers here to get back on track after the World Series from 2 years ago, but they're at plus 185. Like, it's not that exciting to me.
What are the Mariners? What are the Mariners?
The Mariners are plus 210, which that's not a grab either, right? You see what I mean, guys? This just isn't a thing that's very, you kind of don't want to jump on this. I will take a $5 flyer on the National League West, and this just means I'm counting on some injuries to the pitching staff for the Dodgers, which always happens. They're gonna hit.
Yeah.
The Padres are plus 900.
Yeah.
Projected to finish second place. Give me that.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll take that. In the Central, Cubs are even money to win the Central. And the second place Brewers, who've won the division, I think the last 5 out of 6 years or some shit like that. They make the playoffs every damn year. They're plus 270. I'm on the Brewers right now to make the playoffs. Give me that.
Sure. 100%.
Yeah, plus 270. And the NL East, now this is one that's interesting to me. People are going to be jumping all over the Mets at plus 210. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm not going to take the Braves either at plus 110 because, look, they fell apart last year. Guys are coming back from injuries. I'm just not on board with that. But the Phillies at plus 205 seems like easy money. I might just put $100 on that right now.
I like the Phillies. I like that number for sure.
Yeah, plus 205, and they're the best team in that division, man.
Yeah, for sure. What are the Cardinals in that Central? NL Central.
St. Louis is plus 900 in the Central behind the Reds.
Man, it to me is intriguing because I know the Cardinals are bad, but like sometimes they find a way to put together kind of a weirdly good team.
They will. You know that from every day I'm betting. I'm like, take the Cardinals today. Yeah. They get a good pitcher on the mound and they're at home at Busch Stadium. You better look out, man. Yeah, Cardinals, good team. Okay, I'm just going to give you a couple of futures I picked, and then we'll jump into the NCAA. Here's some futures. In baseball, you want to play the futures, right? And don't just try to pick a World Series winner right out of the gates. Pick teams just to win the AL or win the NL and bet World Series because you're going to hit that twice then maybe, and the odds are a little better. For me, the Phillies are a team that I really like this year, not personally, but gambling-wise. In the National League, they're plus 650 to win the National League. Yeah, give me that.
Sure.
Give me that, right? Yeah. I'm only scared of the Dodgers. The Phillies can hit too, and they got pitching. You know what I mean? So give me the Phillies at plus 650 to win the NL and to win the World Series at plus 1100.
Yeah, I like that.
That's for sure. Like way outside the realm of Vegas thinks they can win it. Plus 1100? Give me that. I'm going to throw some money away, and I'm going to double down on the Padres again at plus 1,000 to win the National League, not the World Series, just the National League, because you know this, Andy. You just got to get in the playoffs in baseball, and anything goes.
For sure.
And they've got a lineup that can hit, and if they knock off the Dodgers in the first round or something, they could win the NL.
For sure.
Plus 1,000, I'll take it. In the AL, I'm going to take the Rangers to win the AL at plus 800. Kind of a long shot, but I think they're going to have a big comeback year. But my team again in the American League here, Andy, is going to be the Orioles to win the AL plus 600, to win the World Series plus 2,500.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's one of the best lineups in baseball, and they've added some pitching.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, they just got to get the wild card and get hot. I love
get
that.
in. Just get in the playoffs. That's the key.
I love that one at plus 2,500. And then I'm going to get a couple exacto picks for World Series. If it's Dodgers versus the Orioles, that's plus 1,150. I like it. Dodgers versus the Royals at plus 3,700. I'm taking a flyer.
Oh, let's go.
Right. That's a decent flyer because
Yeah.
again, the Royals are a team that can hit and they've got good pitching.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that. Dodgers Royals plus 3,700. I'm gonna take that. And give me the Phillies and the O's at plus 5,000.
Sure. That seems awesome.
That's very likely.
Yeah.
That's very likely. So
do you have Dodgers Yankees? What's the rematch?
I stayed away from anything Yankees because Cole's out for the year.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, the Yankees. Nah, I'm just not buying the Yankees. That division's going to be tough.
Yeah.
So I didn't take anything Yankees, but I think that the Dodgers Yankees was the number one odd. It was the number one on the list. So I was like, nah, pass.
Yeah.
But those are some great ones, guys. Those are some great ones there for you. And I'm dialed in on the baseball. So I love that Phillies O's plus 5,000.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
What do you got to do? $5?
Come on.
Is my math right on that? $5 pays you 500?
Well, is that right? 10 would be 500, so 250.
Okay, 250. Right. $5 pays you 250. Put the $5 down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Come on. Like, that's just stupid. Anyway, that's some quick baseball stuff. You guys know once the season starts tomorrow, we'll give it about a week so we can get a feel on some of these teams. And then we will be posting on social media every single day a baseball parlay. And Andy, please tell them how we do on that every year.
You kill it. This is not my strength, so this is all Mike's strengths. You do kill it. You're great at it. You're good at this.
We do well on the baseball. The baseball will fund the rest of my year gambling and into the football season.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just such easy money, guys. You got an ace on the mound against a bad team. You check the lineup, who's sitting, and boom. And it's always plus 1.5 or minus 1.5. It's not like you got to lay 6 runs. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's easy money, man.
Yeah.
You just gotta pay attention daily.
You're good at this.
Pay attention. We're going to hand out money, and we are going to gain 1 million followers during this season, Andy. I'm telling you right now, because we're going to be handing out cash, buddy. All right, let's jump on the Sweet 16. Let's talk a little NCAA March Madness to close things out here. We gave you guys some really good picks. We gave you guys some really good picks when we broke down the brackets and gave you some long shot bets, right? Sweet 16 hits that we gave you. We took Michigan on Sweet 16. Bam, that came in. Arkansas was one we handed out. Arkansas to beat St. John's, took that flyer, won that bet. That one paid off, right? And you handed out to everybody, Andy, and you were dead right. Give me the number 1 through number 4 seeds to go 16-0.
And what did they go 16-0? Yeah.
I think they did. Every 1 through 4 is in the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
Every one of them.
Is that right? Arkansas? Oh no, Arkansas beat.
Oh no, 15-1. You're right.
Yeah, 15-1.
15-1 because Arkansas. Right. So 15-1 because of Arkansas. Now Andy also pointed out a very good number for us here. 6-point favorites or higher this year in the tournament. They are 26-2 straight up, and they are 19-9 versus the spread.
Yeah.
Okay. And the last 2 years, they're 51-6 straight up, and they're 38-19.
Yeah.
Right. So these are teams that you want to be looking at if they're 6 or less.
And right? It's something to remember for next year, the 64, right? The chalk is here. Chalk is here right now.
Yeah, chalk is here right now, man. Right now. So let's look at these games for this weekend. Okay. And let's see which ones were you at on some of these based on that rule and just based on how you think these teams are playing right now, Andy. Let's just jump on the first game.
Okay.
BYU plus 5.5 against Bama. Who do you like here?
I think BYU is one of the live dogs. I like BYU at plus 5.5. I'll take the 6. I just think BYU can score. It's one of the only teams that can match Alabama offense for offense. So and Alabama plays horrible defense, so I think you'd take the points here. And if we'll see where the over lands. If the over lands at 175 or higher, I think it's the highest over under in NCAA tournament history.
It's right there right now. I
Yeah.
looked at it just yesterday and I was like, holy shit, I'm not betting that. Both these teams to score 100 points.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
The crazy thing is I may take the over. Because, Alabama can't stop anybody. They don't, they lose games 100 to 101. Like,
Yeah.
So-
You've been saying that all year. Now, we've done pretty well. We had our days during the first 4 days of the tournament where we were like, oof, that didn't go well. But both of us bounced back days the next day, cleaned up some money, and looked pretty decent. So dialed in here a little bit. I think I'm going to be on Bama laying I'll probably buy the 1.5, though, to be a cheater. I'll probably take this thing down to 4 points and take Bama. But
I think there's like 4 live dogs, just truly live dogs to me. I mean, every dog is live, but 4 I really like. So that's one of them.
That's one of them. Okay, Andy likes BYU as a dog. Let's see, Maryland +6 at Florida. I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm riding Florida.
Yeah.
Trevor.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that scares me about this game is that Maryland almost lost, so like that was one of those wake-up games. Or the next week.
So did Florida.
But I just think the guard play for Maryland isn't as good as Florida. So I really like Florida money line.
Yeah, I like Florida to really come alive in this game after having their scare last week. They thought they're going to coast to the Final Four, and now like, oh shit, this is for real tournament. You know? Yeah, I like Florida here as well. Same page. Arizona +9 against Duke. Look, I'm just going to take Duke laying the 9. They're rolling. They're beating the shit out of inferior teams, right?
Yeah, and Duke's already beaten them. So this year they beat them in like November. So I want to take Duke.
Yeah, seems like a lot of points, guys. It's not.
It's not.
It's not. Arkansas +5 against Texas Tech. I'm with you here. I think we both love this dog.
This is my second live dog.
Yeah.
It's Arkansas. I like Texas Tech a lot. I have them to get to the Final Four in our bracket. I changed, right at the last minute from St. John's to Texas Tech. So I like Texas Tech. But I just think Arkansas will keep it close because they'll just make a run. The final score is going to be something like Texas Tech 82, Arkansas 78, 79. Like maybe Texas Tech wins, but I will take the points in Arkansas.
Yeah, I'm going to take the points in Arkansas too. No brainer, I think, to do that. Maybe, and if you're nervous, guys, bump it to 1.5, get to 7. I really love Arkansas at 7, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, dude, right? Okay, let's say Mississippi State +3.5 against MSU. I think this is your other live dog.
You said Mississippi, right? Ole Miss, not Mississippi State.
Yeah, what did I say? Oh, did I say State? No, Ole Miss.
This is another live dog, I believe. I think I like the coach, Chris Beard. I think Mississippi's athletic. Sparty's got Richardson, who's pretty good, pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I just think Mississippi can do what Michigan State does, and might have be a little more athletic. So I think Mississippi is a very live dog. I would be on them on the money line and the points.
Yeah, Mississippi is quietly playing some really good basketball right
Yeah.
now, and I'm with you. I am absolutely gonna be playing an Arkansas Ole Miss money line.
Yeah.
For sure. Upset special. I'm taking it. I'm on it. All right, Kentucky +4.5 against Tennessee. Look, I'm on Tennessee laying the points here.
Well, I'm going to take the points. I don't know if I believe Kentucky can win, but I'll probably take Kentucky's beaten Tennessee twice. They beat them in Tennessee and in Kentucky. So, I don't know. It's hard for me to
3 times
be
in the season. That's always the thing. Like teams rarely do it 3 times.
It's hard to do it. So, but I'm gonna lean with. I'm gonna go just take the points. I don't trust it, but my hatred for Rick Barnes and my 4.5 +5, I give me Kentucky.
No, you're right. You're right. And I'm going anti myself here, where I'm going to play the numbers. I'm going to play the odds that someone can't beat someone 3 times. Right. You know me. I'm one of those gamblers where I'm just heart tied to teams, and I'll bet them. And
take the money
what
line.
I think is going to happen.
That money line will be low enough. Take the money line and put it with a few things, like Florida, Tennessee money line, something like that.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be on Tennessee. Going to be on them. Okay. The next one here for me, this is a live dog for me. I'm telling you right now, boom. I'm thinking Michigan +9 against Auburn. Look, I'm not sold on Auburn. You and I are not sold on Pearl. This is a good basketball team, but nobody, I think they were kind of the number one coming into the tournament that everybody was like, yeah, but nah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like the +9. I don't know if I like the money line here, but I like the +9. So I would be on Michigan then +9.
Yeah, they're just a matchup problem for Auburn with the 2 7-footers.
Yeah, they're huge, and like the problem is for Michigan, but it hasn't affected them yet. It was like their guard play isn't that good. If Auburn starts bombing some threes on them, then it's going to be trouble. But
Yeah,
I'm with you.
they've got to shoot well. I'm with you. We got to hit some 3-pointers out of the guard play to pull this thing off. But
Yeah.
I definitely like them +9. I'll be
Yeah.
taking that all day. It's
For
going to be a tight game. And the last game of the day, which you pointed out, is man, this is a home game for Purdue. Purdue +8 against Houston.
Yeah, in Indianapolis.
In Indianapolis? I mean, come on, man. I got to be on Purdue +8.
Yeah, this is one of those things where I feel like we're all going to be on Purdue, then Houston's going to win by like 14. I feel like that. But yeah, I would be on Purdue, but it's not comfortable. I feel like I've kind of come around to I kind of think Houston's going to win the national title. That's kind of where I'm leaving Florida and Duke, and I think I'm coming over to Houston now.
All right. Well, we'll see about that, because here's my thing with this game, why I'm going to be on Purdue. Not only is this a home game for Purdue, but Purdue's playing really good basketball in the last 2 games, and they've gotten really confident. But the thing with Houston is like they're a tough team, right? They're a physical, tough, gritty team, and they will beat teams up. And that's a problem when they run into a team like a Bama or somebody from the SEC or, some of these big scoring teams. They bully them a little bit and they out-tough them. That's not going to be the case with Purdue. They're coming playing Big Ten basketball. They're going to come into this game playing the same way. They're not going to be bullied.
For sure.
So that's why I think this is going to be a tight game. I think Houston will win the game, but I definitely think this is going to be a game that's going to be within 10. I mean, I'm on it. Yeah,
probably. I mean, I would take the points for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to take the points. Well, we'll have some parlays up on that stuff, guys. We've handed you out some good ones. A lot of our futures are still alive for Final Four picks and for the champions that we handed out last week. You can double back on those, but the odds aren't going to be any good anymore for you guys. You should have jumped on them earlier. Too late for that. Yeah. But anyway, a lot of action this weekend. Opening day tomorrow. Andy, you know who the Royals are playing?
I don't actually. Who are they playing?
I don't know. I don't know. I know that the Tigers are opening in LA.
Now, you know my thing about baseball. Oh, really? My thing is I like to check in on the Royals in like a month.
Right. Because
am I going to invest into these guys? Because I didn't know. I like to look at the 30-game mark and then like the 60th and the 100.
Yeah, right. And then you'll know what's going on.
I looked at the 100-game mark. And they were 28 and 72. And I was like, good, I'm out. I'm out in this year.
I'm out. Yeah. I think they're going to be good this year, man. Tigers, like I said, Tigers are opening up with the Dodgers in a 3-game series where Flaherty will probably be booed. Listen, really quickly, we're out here. We fleeced the Dodgers on that deal last year. They needed a starting pitcher for the playoffs. We traded him Flaherty at the end of his deal. They gave us 2 of their best prospects who are probably going to end up starting for us this year, and we got Flaherty back.
Right. That's a pretty good deal.
We fleeced them. Anyway, let's go Tigers. Big game tomorrow. We'll be tuning in on that. Guys, keep up with us on the social media. We'll be posting stuff for you. And Andy, we'll see you next time, brother.
See you, dude.
Let's get out of here, Louis. Perfect day, buddy.
Touchdown.
Ready? College football is now B1G versus SEC.
Down. Put.
If you ain't listening to All Right Bet with me and Andy St. Clair, you're throwing away money.
Ready?
Oh, Lions fans drinking that Kool-Aid. Super Bowl. Hey, disagree with me or don't. That's how it works.